In this video, we are looking at two different profiles of central midfielders. And we're going to do a career simulation test to see which profile of central midfielder has a better career. So we've created two midfielders, one who is a strong, powerful midfielder, and the other who is a more smart and clever midfielder. And we've given them both 170 current ability. So all of the attributes that you're about to see will reflect a 170 current ability player. And then we've frozen their attributes. They are currently 20 years old, and we'll sim their career to see which profile of midfielder might do better. So first up, we have our strong, powerful midfielder. And again, looking at his current ability, recommended current ability here is 170. So all of these attributes reflect a 170 current ability central midfielder. And again, we have someone here who's reflected as a strong, powerful midfielder with overwhelmingly amazing physical attributes. They have 20s for all of their physical attributes. So pace is 20, stamina is 20, strength is 20, jumping reach is 20. This is the most OP meta player that you could possibly have in Football Manager. That being said, 20s in all physical attributes and 1s and everything else wouldn't really cut it. So to get to 170 current ability, I've also added the technical and mental attributes that I think you would kind of think about when you have the profile of a strong and powerful player. So this is a player with excellent tackling, making them almost like an N'Golo Kante type player. But I've also given them some other good attributes as well. I think if you think of someone who's a strong, powerful box-to-box midfield, they're going to have high aggression, they're going to have high bravery, and they're going to have high work rate. So they have 20s for all of those attributes. I've also given them a 20 for determination, but I've also given some other attributes that I think will just help them along the way. They also have good anticipation and good off the ball movement, as well as good positioning and teamwork. So mentally, they're actually a very good player. But I did want to juxtapose them with our upcoming smart and clever player. So the technical attributes aren't as good. Finishing at this level is mid. Dribbling and first touch at this level aren't very good. Not great passing necessarily at this level. And the decision making is low too. So despite seeing a very good physical player, a player who's going to get up and down the pitch, is extremely physically overpowered, is aggressive, goes strong in the tackle, and works very hard, but technically and decision making wise, they might not be quite as good. And then on the flip side, we have our smart, more clever player who is physically terrible. So again, looking at him, he is a 170 recommended current ability. So this is reflective of a 170 current ability central midfielder. And especially for the English Premier League, physical attributes are horrible. The only one that I've given both players 20 natural fitness. That's the only good physical attribute. The reason for that is it doesn't affect the match engine, but I wanted to make sure that we're getting a large sample size of games that they're playing throughout the career. So hopefully this will prevent them from getting injured and things like that. I've also given them both players model citizen personalities and really low injury proneness because I want them to be able to play throughout their career. That being said, this is what the physical attributes look like. They're terrible, especially at the Prem level. He can't jump. His pace is slow. He has no stamina, no strength, no acceleration, agility, or balance. This is a weak player who can't run very well. However, technically, they are absolutely phenomenal. They dribble well. First touch 20, passing 20, technique 20. Again, to juxtapose him a little bit from the strong, powerful player, though, he's not very good at tackling. So tackling is only 9, but the rest of those technical attributes are really good. The only thing I've done is I've given him kind of mid penalty taking, and I haven't given him good corner taking. I don't want those assist statistics to be overly inflated just because he takes corners, free kicks, and pens. So I've made sure those are still mid so that we're not getting overinflated stats in those categories. That being said, though, again, we have a very technically good player, good crossing, good dribbling, good first touch, good long shots, good passing, and good technique. But more importantly, on the smart and clever side, his mentals are phenomenal. We have high work rate, but more importantly, excellent vision. We have excellent off the ball movement, great flair, perfect decision making. So he should be one of the smartest players in the game. He's concentrated and composed in all situations, and he has high anticipation, so he can see everything that should be happening in front of him. Again, to juxtapose him though, not super high aggression, not super high bravery. So we have kind of two almost opposite midfielders. We have one who's strong and powerful, one who's smart and clever, who's technically good and should be able to see the game. This almost reminds me of an Andrea Pirlo type character. Well, this almost reminds me of like if you took N'Golo Kante's technical and mental attributes and stamina, but then maybe combined it with some of Yaya Toure and just how physically overpowering he was. So it should be pretty interesting. And as you all might have seen already, I've tried to put them in similar-ish situations. So Newcastle in the Prem, Tottenham in the Prem. They're both kind of, especially at the start of the game, in very similar positions, similar season previews, similar expected positions in the league. So both players are also English. We'll see who gets maybe more caps and more goals. But the big thing off the bat is the strong, powerful midfielder has a slightly higher transfer value, 67 to 200 mil. So it should be interesting how both of these players do. Again, we're going to simulate their entire career and see how they do. Convention states, I think, that the strong, powerful player here with his meta attributes should probably do better. You would think they would have a more successful career, more successful being more goals, more assists, and a higher match rating. But both players, again, if we look at the hidden attributes here, are 170 current ability. So the game is saying they should be about equal. But from what we know about Football Manager, I think the strong, powerful player should do better just because of those OP physicals. That being said, here we are. This is the experiment. We're going to simulate their careers. But I think let's just see who starts better. Let's go 1 year into the future and see which player had a better season. And then after that one season, let's go to the end of their careers. Welcome back. We are 1 year into the future. And the big thing that I just have to show you guys here, Newcastle finished third and are in the Champions League. Tottenham finished 16th. I thought they were going to be about equal. Tottenham were terrible. They had 39 points all season. How is that possible? Surely Ange was fired. I can't believe it. All right, but the juxtaposition of the two teams, is that indicative that one player was terrible and the other player was amazing? We are going to find out. Well, immediately the interesting thing is, because obviously in this version of the game, we're now in Euro 2024, it looks like a strong, powerful player made it into the England squad while smart, clever player did not. But let's take a look and see here. So strong, powerful player looks like he is in the international squad with England. So he is probably in the Euros, albeit he hasn't played yet. But again, he looks exactly the same. We are looking at the history though. 27 matches, 2 goals, 3 assists, and a 7.23 overall rating. That's solid. I mean, that's exactly what that is. That's a solid box-to-box midfielder. Didn't get a whole lot of goals, didn't get a whole lot of assists, but 7.23 overall rating is pretty good. Here's the smart, clever player again, not in the England squad. That is an interesting development, I think. He's only a squad player at this point, but looking at his career stats, and I mean, not great. 17 appearances, 4 assists, and a 7.19 overall rating. Overall rating rise, they're about similar, 7.23 versus 7.19. I mean, really not a whole lot different, but I think it was 2 goals and 3 assists and 0 goals, 4 assists here. Neither player lighting up the league or anything, but smart, clever player played less matches. I don't know. I would say definitely the strong, powerful player has the edge at the moment, but there's not a whole lot between them 1 year forward. All right, welcome back. I'm another 2 years forward now, so I'm 3 years since the beginning of the experiment. And the reason that I'm here is because I wanted, like, Tottenham were so bad that first season that I'm like, is that really reflective of everything? So I wanted it to be more equal. Now it seems more equal. Spurs finished in sixth, Newcastle finished in third. Newcastle clearly the superior team at this point, but at least they had more equal seasons. So hopefully this will be a little bit more of an even playing field. All right, the interesting thing is, I think this is the 2026 World Cup, and smart, clever, still no English caps. Strong, powerful, 4 caps, 2 goals. So that does show that, at least in the eyes of the English national team, he is potentially the better player. But let's look at the career stats. Overall, strong, powerful, 7.23 overall rating, then 7.16 and 7.12. Actually, maybe doing a little bit worse as we go on. Best season was 5 goals. He doesn't get a whole lot of assists. I'm not surprised to see that. But the last season, he actually wasn't that good. In total, 97 appearances, 8 goals, 3 assists, 5 player of the match, 7.16 overall rating for him. I guess he's been kind of as expected. I think he might do a little bit better, to be honest. All right, looking at smart, clever, I also realize he's developed some player traits, so that's interesting. Career stats here. Okay. Now this is interesting. Not really many goals. I think strong, powerful hasn't beaten on the goals, but in 91 overall appearances, so similar-ish. He's played most of the matches. 27 assists though. 4 assists in season 1, but he had a big breakthrough in season 2. 14 overall assists and 9 assists this past season, and 7 player of the match awards. And that average rating now usurps the strong, powerful overall rating. Okay, so 3 seasons in with a slightly larger sample size and a bit more of an even playing field now, I think surprisingly, smart, clever has just pulled ahead. Again, there's not much between them. Maybe the assist is where we're seeing a big difference. There is not much between them. But smart, clever, I think now has just edged ahead. Other interesting things is smart, clever was named the English Players' Young Player of the Year, but otherwise, Carabao Cup runner-up is all he's got. But again, for a strong, powerful player, he doesn't have any individual awards, but he does have international caps and goals. And he was the Champions League runner-up. So, okay. So I think overall, career-wise, making it to a Champions League final and making the England squad put strong, powerful ahead. But our smart, clever player has the better average ratings and stats. So honestly, they're pretty even. All right, we're pretty even. We're 3 years into the future. We are now going to jump to the end of their careers. Let's look at their careers as a whole. Let's see exactly what happened, and then we'll make a final judgment then. Welcome back. We are in 2039. This is the last time that we see both players in game. The interesting thing here is our strong, powerful player is now in the Saudi Pro League at Al Ahly, but smart, clever player is still at Spurs. So that's interesting. Of course, both players had their attributes frozen, so it shouldn't have changed throughout their career. Looking at strong, powerful, again, attributes frozen. We see the only thing that's gone down is bravery. That's going to happen as they get injuries throughout their career. But he had a he has had a phenomenally successful career. Although it looks like maybe towards the end of his career, he's also been played at center back and defensive mid. Maybe not surprising with that tackling. I could also see him probably being a good wingback, to be honest. But an astounding 112 caps and 20 goals for England, an exceptional international career. But looking at his career stats, excellent. So he was at Newcastle for most of his career, where he averaged around a 7.2, 7.3, 7.1 overall rating. And in the Saudi Pro League, I mean, he's been phenomenal. But he's done really well. Overall career stats, I don't think you guys can see that because it's probably blocked my face. But 525 matches, 55 goals, 49 assists, 18 player of the match awards, and most importantly, a 7.23 overall rating, exactly the same as he had in season 1. So looking at the milestones throughout his career, looking at his competitions, World Cup, third place in the World Cup with England in 2026, European International League third place, Carabao Cup runner-up, Europa Conference League. Did he win anything? So finally, he was the runner-up throughout most of his career, but finally in 2033, the Europa League winners, the European South American Club Challenge winners, and that's all oh, and an Asian Champions League winner as well. So a good career. He won the Asian Champions League, the Europa League, and the European South American Club Challenge. But otherwise, he was runner-up a lot, but he didn't win a whole lot. Also, just some interesting stuff. He was appointed as the captain of Newcastle, and he broke the Newcastle's all-time record for most league appearances with 432. So he had an excellent, excellent career. So our strong, powerful central midfielder had a very solid career. Let's now look at the smart and clever player. Again, this is what he looks like, still at Spurs. Looking at his career stats, I mean, very similar. A lot. He's going to have a lot more assists and a few more goals, but very similar average ratings. So scrolling all the way down here, 510 overall appearances. So about probably what we were expecting. 28 goals, so slightly less than our strong, powerful player, but 147 assists, which is a lot more than her strong, powerful player. 41 Player of the Match awards, but I think the thing that makes this so interesting, the crowning achievement of this experiment, our smart, clever player averaged a 7.23 average rating. Smart, clever, and strong, powerful average the exact same average rating throughout their career. They were essentially equals. I did forget to check, but he had 82 caps and 6 goals in his English national team career, so he was also involved in the English national team. Looking at everything here, he was also part of that European International League third place squad, but he won the Europa League. He won the Super Cup. He won the Carabao Cup. He eventually did get to be a Champions League, FA Cup, and World Cup runner-up. That 2030 season must have been devastating. FA Cup winners, Community Shield winners, Carabao Cup winners. So he won a lot more in his career than the other player did. But I don't think we can read too much into that. There's probably just going to be because of the team. But Europa Conference League winners, European International League winners there. Looking at his landmarks, he broke a bunch of assist records. So Europa League record for most assists, Tottenham record for most assists, Prem record for most assists in a season as well. So overall, at the end of their careers, based on everything we're seeing here, they were almost exactly equal. Like they were effectively equal players. I think both players, a history, 7.23 average rating for both players. Maybe smart, actually, I mean, they're essentially equal. Strong, powerful had slightly more goals. Smart, clever, though, had way more assists. Both players were very successful. Again, our strong, powerful player, though, was better as far as his international career was concerned, with more caps and more goals. But our smart, clever player might have had a better club career, arguably. But, you know, maybe that's just because Spurs were slightly more successful throughout the save. But overall, I mean, maybe with goal contributions, just because of the assist, our smart, clever player might have slightly edged it. But overall, I mean, two 170 current ability players with very different profiles, but they were effectively equal. Like what our smart, clever player was good at was passing, the technical side of the game. He had good crossing, dribbling, finishing, first touch, and technique. He was good at the technical and mental side of the game, but he was terrible physically. He didn't have good tackling. He wasn't very aggressive. Our strong, powerful player was the juxtaposition of that. He was OP physically, very good in those other mental attributes such as aggression and bravery, and he was very good at tackling, but not good in the technicals. So we had two effectively opposite players, and they ended up being almost exactly equal. Well, there you have it. This was a career simulation for two different types of midfielders. And they turned out, I mean, same current ability, and they turned out to be equal. They had the same average rating throughout their careers. This was a lot of fun. I hope that you all enjoyed this experiment. I hope that you all find it interesting. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are taking care of yourselves. And I'll see you all soon. Bye.